And together, I can hear you.
Immigration. Representative, which was referred to this committee on the 23rd of November 2017. It was referred to this House based on a petition and a matter of urgent public importance brought to the floor of the House through myself, the Chairman Committee on Diaspora Matters, based on petitions that were written to this committee on OIS and the sufferings of Nigerians in renewing their passports, their visas, and a couple of activities that happen in Nigerian embassy, which they said the immigrations are to be asked the question because it was purported that they entered into a contract with this OIS, which is what do they call them? Online integration solution. That they have been given the power to take all biometrics concerning Nigerians for them to renew their visas or passports or even BVN. Based on that, a lot of charges are placed on them. They allege that $90 are being collected, $20 equally collected again, and after paying the original fee that was in the immigration website, they go out and they cannot have still their passports or their visa given to them from the embassy. They will be sent to another office where they will get those services they have paid online on immigration website for them. They come up with some stories that at the end of the day, the embassy will now say, immigration then will say there is no sticker to put, the visa sticker is not there, the passport is not available, but they will have to go to another office and pay some sum before they could get the services, which is purportedly to be rendered by the immigration section in the Nigerian Embassy, United States. Recall, distinguished guests and honorable members, that we had issues concerning this OIS before, and we were really not clear about what the issue is all about. And we now ask for the clearance on this issue based on the referral from the National Assembly that we should liaise with the immigration and they should tell us what is this OIS, what is the problem they are causing, how did they come into being, how did they come into being the ones that take Nigerian biometrics or passports or stuff like that in the services that could be rendered by immigrations. And the House unanimously held on the 23rd of November that this committee should investigate this issue and report back to the House for 7 days. And the urgency of the 7 days is that the thing has elapsed already because the immigration cannot meet up with the first appointment. And we ask the House to oblige us to give them once more this time before we do the report and present it to the House. We are not witch hunting anybody. What we want to know is the truth, because the Nigerian populace will be meant to know the truth too when we submit the report to the House, because it's a report that will be adopted in the whole committee of the House, and it will be a report that Nigerians will have handy at the end of the day. So you are welcome, and we will want you to throw light on the issue of OIS, the money they collect, who engage these people, and why are they giving problems to Nigerians. And then you can equally brief us on this new visa policy in the United States that took off on the October 16, 2017. So,
but I would like to say that we are on the same page with the House, the same page. I want to state that this case of revenue collection by PPP partners has been investigated by the House and the Senate. That notwithstanding, I would like to make two things clear, Honorable Chair and Honorable members of the committee. We are only working arm of government. We have signed no agreement with anybody. Agreements were signed by Ministry of Interior, our supervising ministry. And these agreements, they are very old, some of them. And we are battling with those agreements. We have written our observations on such agreement. We want these agreements to be reviewed, some of them even to be cancelled. We have written in that. But let me make things more clear. There is agreement on e-immigration, which was signed almost 10 years ago between the then Ministry of Internal Affairs and New Work Solution. We will provide all these copies of this agreement so that you can have a good picture. We have provided many copies to many committees. Every year we used to appear in the House. So there is an e-immigration agreement signed between New Works and Ministry of Internal Affairs. Actually, it was not signed by New Works. It was signed by another company, Socket Works. But they gave out they sold the agreement to New Works. So the New Works bought over the agreement between Interior. And that agreement at that time, it was agreement for collection. But the agreement had many windows, including e-immigration. So what happened is that after that agreement, several addendums to the agreement were signed with the Ministry of Interior. Investigating is basically United States.
And the address of this one is 11900 Parktown Drive, 160 Maryland, United States. That is where this action, where investigation takes place. We still have another investigation on this OIS generally with Interior, which is another secondary with the both Foreign Affairs. We're going to have a joint. But where we are focusing right now, that the House needs the report in 7 days, is the Maryland, United States. It has to do with Nigerian issues in USA in particular. I think when other states or global issues concerning those ones will come on board is when we'll take the second investigation, which we are going to condone. We are going to do it together with Foreign Affairs, Interior, and stuff like that. We are still going to have that one because that's the second part of the investigation. But I want you to concentrate mostly on the United States. Thank you.
The committee, even when you are submitting a report, you need to give the background situation. So, Ministry of Interior, besides signing processing centers, they also signed biometric visa. This biometric visa was signed this year, and I'm sure it is the one that led to the opening of the one in Maryland. The biometric system is also, instead of you to take, as you are aware, like in the UK, you submit your biometric in another VFS. They take your biometric. That is the whole concept, that applicants for Nigerian visas, anybody who has an American passport, if he's a Nigerian, he's entitled to come to Nigeria with that passport. So he has to go and apply for visa. If you want to present your American passport, even though he's my son, and I'm in the counter, he arrives with the American passport, I will treat him as an American citizen. So those Nigerians who go to apply for visa in Maryland, as far as we're concerned, they're Americans. Like every American, they came with the passport of America, they apply. So like any Americans, there should be no discrimination. So that center was approved because of the biometric agreement signed with the Ministry of Interior. That they will collect biometric. It's a good concept also. But later on, other implementation is another issue. The idea is that due to war on terror, you can no longer allow people to come to your territory until you have their details. That's the whole idea of visa. You have advanced information of person who is coming, but this time it's not only the person. You take his biometric. You are aware what happened to our citizens in Lebanon. One of the terrorists in Lebanon attempted and got a visa. The reason is simple. If the terrorist is really interested in coming to Nigeria, he can get entirely a new passport from another country. It's not going to be fake. But with another name. But if you collect biometric, person can change his name 10 times. It is the same biometric God has given. So the idea of biometric not is good. The ministry signed the agreement and said that people who submit their biometric in that center, they will take their biometric and we have it in our central database. Tomorrow, if the person appears with another name, you take the biometric, you will know that the person has changed his data. So that started working this year after signing the biometric. I agree with you entirely. These are the exact fees charged in America for visas in America. First, there is actual visa fee paid, $160. There is transaction charges by OIS. You ask him what is the relationship between OIS and NIWOX. You will ask Minister of Interior that question, not me. Because what I know is that they have signed agreement between NIWOX and Minister of Interior on biometric. But OIS is said to be an agent of NIWOX. So they are technical partners of NIWOX. That's the only explanation, but Interior will tell you better. So they collect transaction charges. This is online transaction charges, $20. Total fees paid online, $180. So if you apply online, you pay the visa fee, $160, $20 charges, you pay $180. But if you come, or you will require, this time you pay online, but you are required to be taken your biometric. It's not enough to pay online, but your biometrics will be taken. Biometric charges $90. This is based on the agreement signed between Ministry of Interior and NIWOX solution. So the total visa fee becomes $270. Chair, we raise these issues also as a service to the ministry about our observation on that. And the ministry, I will give you our observations. We wrote to the ministry on why it is risky to have several visa fees, because we are going to pay also as a citizen if the American government feels like, look, the total fee A plus 1 plus A plus is equal to visa fee. They will decide to add, so we'll pay the same fee. We raise the issues concerned.
Biometrics. The security of Nigeria's identity, I cannot guarantee it. Who are those people that are having this OIS? Who are behind? Who are these companies that sign this agreement? What do they have? How are we sure they can protect the identity of Nigerians by warehousing it? And the problem on ground is this: 90, 20. Service providers collect $20, biometrics 90. And I want to believe it is these people that did the BVN, and we heard that they brought machines, their investment, and the same investment was what they used in doing the BVN. I don't understand whether they imported another machine again after the BVN issue, because the issue of raising their money for their investment has been the order of the day, and there is a recurring decimal. When are they going to finish raising their capital, the investment, to avoid this extortion? Because somebody paying $110 and Nigeria is collecting $100, and who are the ones that are benefiting? The people that are eating the money is the contractors and their proceeds. The government is not even getting money from this venture. And still, the outcry is on the government of the country. So we need to clear this down. I don't know whether you have questions to ask, because it's very important, and interiors will come into being too. But in the issue of immigration, hence they have made their submission. I think the summation of it all we've listened. So you can ask your questions.
Your submission. A few questions come to mind. Number one, who is in charge of visa administration in all our various embassies? One. Number two, this OIS, how many companies? Is it only this OIS that are in charge of taking biometrics, or there are other companies that do it for the Nigerian government? Number 3, the charge of $20 and $90, are they exclusively paid and enjoyed by the contractor, or there is equally an agreement on these funds, these $20 and $90?
For the first time, we have given them, I think, around eight issues. Yeah? What we do wrongly, and we want to amend so that we shall look better in 2018. So we are ready for change.
Well, it is a follow-up to a referral from the National Assembly, House of Representatives. The House, acting on a resolution passed on the 23rd of November 2017, where I brought up a matter of urgent public importance from Nigerians in United States of America of a new visa policy that commenced on 16th of October 2017, where they are being extorted after paying the visa fee online. They will go again and pay a $90.
The visa fee is how much?
$180. They go ahead again and pay $90, and they pay again $20. Who and who is the owner of this $110 that at the end of the day that is not being accounted for? Who and who signed the contract? How many companies are involved in this extortion? Those are the questions that are raised. Why extorting poor Nigerians? Did they know the implication of what those policies are all about? And we now ask, what is Nigerian government doing to make sure that this extortion stops? That's the reason why the House said we should liaise with the Nigerian Immigration Services so that we will ascertain the veracity of the claim of Nigerians in the United States of America about this new policy. And it was affirmed that there is a policy, visa policy, excluding the one that is already paid online. You are sent to another, the latest one is in Maryland right now, where you go and pay $90 to OIS through their conspirators. There are 3 companies that are already in agreement that join hands together to extort money from Nigerians. And we said Nigerian government is to review all these contracts that are obnoxious, that are repugnant to tests of natural justice. If we're talking about corruption, we should be able to step the tide of corruption. What will we call a company that is in charge of BVM? They collected money, they recouped their investment on BVM. What is the remaining balance of the money they did not recoup after the BVM saga? They are still the ones that are taking the issue of biometrics. And I was so surprised because it's a security problem. How can you warehouse the identity of Nigerians to foreigners? Is there any foreign country that Nigeria is warehousing their identity? Identity theft is a common thing and is a criminal offense. But here, where Nigerians' identities are domiciled with foreigners or in the name of contract, a private company warehousing the identity of Nigerians. And I ask, how many Nigerians are ready to let their identity go like that? How many? Will a policeman want that? Will a military man want that? Will whoever that knows what security is all about give up his or her identity, all in the name of a contract? So this committee is keen to ascertain who and what are the reasons of signing these contracts. We were meant to know that the contract signed has been delegated again. So it's no longer that they sign contract with Interior or whatever. They have delegated their own. In the contract they signed, is there a right for them to delegate? That we will ascertain. Because delegatus non pote delegare. You cannot delegate that was delegated to you. So a lot of issues are coming up, and Nigerians in diasporas are suffering gradually because of this extortion. I call it pure extortion. Nigerians are crying that Nigerian embassies are not well funded. Do you know that other countries, UK and others, the money they made from people getting visa in Nigeria is enough for them to take care of their staff? Then why will Nigeria contract their own to foreigners, and they will be crying that there is no money to fund the embassies? Imagine $110 going into the coffers of Nigerian embassy. Why would we be breaking budgets? Nigerian High Commission, they were suffering, the staffs are not being paid. We can't even pay our rent wherever we are. Then we are enriching other private companies. You think they didn't make the money when they started the VFS own? They made millions. They have recouped their investment. And what they are doing to Nigerians in the United States right now is extortion, pure extortion. And we are bringing it to the floor because the report will be submitted to the House, and Nigerians will hear, and we are going to follow up, because that should stop. If we are saying no to corruption, we should be able to nip the root of corruption in bud. Nigeria would have made millions of money from this money they are paying to service providers and point to AIs and all those companies that they have their daily contracts with. That money is enough to fund Nigerian embassies abroad. The next step is that the report of this meeting will be tabled before the House for adoption. And as soon as the House adopts it, it becomes a resolution and it will be implemented. My observation, I don't want to preempt because we still have more to see, the Interior and other ones. But going by what the immigration had done, immigration, they are not the ones that signed the contract anyway. And an agency of government that is saddled with implementation should be allowed a free hand than signing contracts and imposing it on them. Because Nigerians don't know who is responsible for their problems. Every blame is being held on immigration. They are the ones that we are causing, but OIS is not immigration. Newark is not immigration. All these three companies, even some of them are opening different branches right now where you go and pay separate, then you come in the name of service providers. We have VFS here, for instance. If you are going for biometrics, you don't pay money. Here, I've gone to France embassy. Nobody charged me for biometrics. I didn't pay kobo for biometrics. You go in, do your biometrics, and go. I've been in United States embassy here. I don't really understand why Nigerians will be paying for biometrics. Why? After paying $20 for service, who are the ones providing the service? And who are the ones collecting the 90 again? Those are the questions that is still begging for an answer. Who are the service providers? And who are the ones collecting the $90 again, making 110? Are they duplicating themselves? The contractors, are they not the service providers? Why are they double jeopardy? You pay 90, you pay this. The only money that is going to federal account is the one you pay online. That 110 would have given Nigeria enough money to take care of their staffs at the embassy. But it's going to personal, enriching private people that are not even Nigerians.
From what you have said, I have learned that some people will still appear before the committee.
Yes.
Who are those people?
Well, on this issue, Interior will be, Foreign Affairs will be too. And those that are stakeholders in this matter will still appear. We are still going to conclude the hearing on them. Then we'll table our report. But I'm not really happy that Nigeria is enriching foreigners against its citizens. That is my problem. Important is that Nigerian citizens should not be the cow that will be led to slaughter for the benefit of other countries. Do Nigeria warehouse identity of any other country in this world? Don't we have IT specialists? Don't we have Nigerians who can invest? We have Nigerians who can provide those machines. Why will our identity be given to foreigners? Identity theft is a criminal offense. No wonder why many people are afraid of going to. Why will you surrender identity to people you don't know? It's really uncalled for, and Nigeria should wake up to its toes and do the right thing.